I'm thinking about that book. I'm thinking about that book, The Grapes of Wrath. I think it was The Grapes of Wrath, but I'm not sure because I confuse certain books. Like I confuse a little bit The Grapes of Wrath with Silas Marner with um The Grapes of Wrath, Silas Marner, Portrait of the Artist of a Young Man, and Watership Down. But I also confused Watership Down with Ursula K. Le Guin, The Dispossessed, and The Brave New World by what's his name, and 1984 by George Orwell. But I also confused 1984 with written by George Orwell with the essays of George Orwell, with which kind of go a little bit like this and a little bit like that. And when I first started reading George Orwell, or George Eliot, or wait, what's her name? His name, her name. Silas Marner, Flannery O'Connor. At least she was brave enough to proclaim herself a woman. There's something to be said about that. But anyway, I confuse things. I confuse 1984 with Brave New World with The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. Whatever. But anyway, I said all that to say this, which is I wanted to say Fuggit. Fuggit. Which is a riff on what I think came from the Grapes of Wrath. Fuggit, Fugit, which is a little bit like Fugit, like Tempus Fugit. Fuggit, Fugit. In Latin, Tempus Fugit. In the Grapes of Wrath, Fuggit. Or in regular, everyday Americana parlance colloquialism, fuck it. But we might make our C a little bit more like a G, or our CK a little bit more like a CH, or our H a little more, it might be a little more k, depending where we live, or it might be a little bit more ch, depending where we live, or it might be a little bit more depending where we live. Fine. Can we be at least that much of a philologist? Can we be at least that much of a etymologist? And while we're at it, being etymologists, can we be entomologists? What do bugs have to do with it? What do bugs have to do with everything? People are always talking about the bees are disappearing. The bees are not disappearing. I'm a house painter, right? I'm not a biologist. Like, I'm not a farmer. I'm not anything. But I work outside every motherfucking day. Every day. Every day I work outside. Well, that's not true. But over the last 16, 17 years, over the last 17 years, I've worked outside a lot. The thing about painters is their hands touch every piece of a surface over and over again. Like, carpenters build it, they go over it and over it. All the different trades, they go over it and over it. And I'll be the first to admit, as a painter, like, I look up to every other trade. Like, a painter's at the bottom of the totem pole, or the top of the totem pole, depending on how you think about foundation, right? The light or the foundation, the fundament. There's the cornerstone is important. What about when that cornerstone is right in the middle of everything? What if that cornerstone is the entire foundation? What if there's no foundation, just a cornerstone acting as the foundation, engineered so precisely and so perfectly that it's the foundation and the cornerstone in one place, gravity acting in every which way perfectly? That'll be something. But all I wanted to say was that I think in the book The Grapes of Wrath, the curse word is fugit, F-U-G-I-T, which is a little bit like in the Ralphie movie, the Christmas Story movie. I think he says, "Oh, fug." But I do remember back in the day, I think it used the CK instead of the G. I think it did. Back when it was on HBO, before HBO, like HBO used to be something different than HBO is now, you know. But I clearly remember Christmas Story Ralphie saying the CK instead of the G. Oh, fuck. When he spilled the lug nuts off the tire in that movie, The Christmas Story, with Ralphie and Randy. As it turns out, Randy became a porn star. You know. He's just like, you know, so if you hate porn stars, all I'm saying is remember the woman at the well. The woman at the well was the porn star. You're a porn star. If you've ever been visceral, if you've ever been carnal in the sexual way, you're the woman at the well. Many people turn from God because they don't want to accept the fact that they are the woman at the well. I am the woman at the well. I didn't know it at the time. Right? The woman at the well, she went through her first husband. She went through her second husband. Third, fourth, fifth, whatever. Well, same with me. Different rules in a different day, but the same outcome. I have also hidden myself at certain times of day when I'm in certain places so I can put myself here and put myself there at the times when it's most convenient for me, when I won't run into the people of my past. Many times because I have wronged the people in my past and I just don't want to deal with it. And many times because the people of my past have harmed me and I don't want to deal with it. It's just like, whatever. Let's just forget each other because we'll never know each other again. That is not the right way to live life. But if you've lived your life so horribly, that cutting ties, right? If you live your life horribly, you're hanging out with people who have lived their life horribly. It is beneficial to me, and it is beneficial to many people in my past that we cut our ties because we were both horrible. We can't come to terms with it. It breaks both of our hearts. So it's much better for the people we hated when we were 20 years younger. It's much better just to stand far back, see each other, and then just give one of these, right? We may have been best friends 10, 20, 30 years ago. But things are different now. It might be best just to stand 40 yards apart from each other, having not seen each other for 25 years, and just go like that. You don't need to go up, shake hands, how you doing, this, that, whatever. Just, that's all you need. And that is one of the lessons of wisdom, which I never would have suspected. Old age does grant wisdom. Even if you're a dumb, stupid dipshit who keeps fucking up every single day. I was about to say like me, but no. I am a stupid, dumb, fuck up, piece of shit loser who just destroys life every day. I can't imagine why God wanted me to be born. I can't fucking imagine it. Yet, even in old age, I realized, like, oh wow. Because you don't see it at first. There's a certain wisdom gained by watching things fail. It's like you have a plan. You're like, oh, in a year I'm going to do this. And you execute it, and then wait, it goes like this. Oh. And then you're like, okay, I failed on that year plan. I got a 2-year plan. Fails. Okay, well, now I got a 5-year plan. Succeeds for 2 years, and you're like, oh, I got over that 2-year hump. No. At 3.5 years, fail. Right? And then you're like, oh, well, I guess I failed again, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years. And then it's like, okay, so then it succeeds for 4 years, 4.5 years, 5 years, 5.5 years. Oh, killing it, crushing it. Nope. Oh, wait. But you don't fall all the way down. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps back, 6 steps forward, 4 steps back, 4 steps forward. The market of the self. My marketplace is in shambles, but I'm still here. Fuck it. That's all I wanted to get to. It took 15 minutes. The only thing I wanted to do today was yell with my mouth. And it took me 15 minutes to get there. Ridiculous. Fug it. F-U-G-I-T. Fug it. F-U-G-G-I-T-T. Fug it. F-U-I-T-C-K. And all that is I am actually becoming... I feel like I'm Nero playing the violin as Rome burns, but I don't know. There's no one else doing what I'm doing. Like, what I'm doing is really, 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 really ugly. But... well, I guess there's no but. It's really ugly. So maybe the best part of making these videos that I've been making over the last couple weeks is by showing myself how ugly I make my yelling. By showing myself how ugly I make my yelling, I can maybe teach or coach myself into making yelling that is beautiful. Hey, that's not a horrible prayer. last several seconds was sanguine. The only reason I know that sound was sanguine is because the sanguine chemical was produced in my I don't know much about glands, but I know I have glands that salivate. I know that I have glands that produce salivation. And that last 15 seconds of tone, give or take, was sanguine. It made a very sanguine flavor in this region of my tongue. I'm just saying, that's science, motherfucker. Because I did the experiment and I recorded the result. As they used to say on Reading Rainbow on PBS, don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. It took me 10 years to be able to make this ugly shit out of my mouth. But maybe in another 10 years it will be so pretty. If I live that long. I have all kinds of philosophies and words and theologies and da-da-da-da-da in my mind, but maybe all that's just the rot of the day. And maybe pure sound is a much better truth. If we figure out sound, we figure out light. If we figure out light, we figure out sound. Because waves act upon waves. Can't have one without the other. What a moron.